Hello, everybody. I'm still here. I'm still working on projects. This is totally not an LSM launch that I'm sure everybody would want to see, but unfortunately for everybody, Cedar Point just announced a tilt coaster, and I'm a very fickle being who is easily distracted, and now I want to build this. So, say goodbye to LSM launch. You will get to see it again in a couple of weeks, hopefully, because I think this should actually be like pretty easy to build. And I think I have all of the electronics already figured out from the last project, so we're gonna see if I can speed build the tilt coaster. Alright, I've got mostly everything tidied up now. You can see, yeah, look at that, nice and clean. This stuff over here, I bet you I could probably reuse, so there's no point in me trying to take it apart because it's just gonna hurt my fingers. So next time you see me, there'll probably be a prototype tilt coaster. So, all right, good morning. It's the next day. I've been working on a tilt concept. So here it is. As you can see, we've got a servo motor here, and it will twist this guy down. And these guys line up pretty well. I've done some tests with an extra bit of tubing here. So that all works. I just need to get something for the holding brake up here. And originally I was going to use these big servos, but as you can see, they're kind of heavy. So I got to go to Micro Center and get some smaller servos that are better suited to just holding the car there before we need to drop it. So I'm back from Micro Center now. I've got these tiny servos, which will fit, in here a lot better. They're a lot less clunky, so that's all good. And I have them working. So if I plug them into the box here, boom, it works. So, yep, I got to get this guy hooked up, and then we should be able to see the tilt in action. So I have the holding motor for the drop programmed. It's toggling back and forth right now, and I'm going to put the car on the track to show that the servo holding the car will be powerful enough to, prevent it from falling when we don't want to. So it works. This servo is strong enough to hold the car up, so that's a good first step. So I've programmed the tilt for this prototype, and I'm going to plug it in and show you, but there's one little thing that's wrong with it, and I want you all to see if you can figure out what I would be unhappy with. So I don't know how obvious it was, but my problem is I have a whole lot of backlash here where this can just move around kind of freely because of the slop in the gears. So I need to redesign this so that the servo is directly driving the axle that moves the tilt, because I would like for the drop to be slow and controlled, because I believe that the slow anticipation is the entire wow factor of doing a drop like this. So I have the servo directly hooked up to the axis of rotation now, so there is a lot less backlash and it works very well. Let me plug it in and show you. All right, it's the next day. We have all of these tubes broken out because it's time to construct the lift hill. There's an elephant we need to address in the room, and that's that the problem is the ride dips underground right there for a brief amount of time. And so my plan is going to be to build, like normally you build these kind of platforms to secure your tube supports, but I'm going to build these up a bit taller, so the whole ride's going to rest on a bit of a platform until the point in which we go underground. Alright, boys and girls, here is the next update. There's the lift hill built. You can see I propped it up by a granite rod, so that'll give us a underground section to build into at the end of the ride. And here is the structure for the tilt drop. I'm working mostly on this bottom section here to try and get that working correctly, but it should I like the concept, let's say. It still needs a little bit ironing out, but we're gonna attach that onto this and hopefully do some sort of test run. I've got tubing installed, and I'm starting to sort out the other block zones that I am going to have. I do think I'm going to want to extend this section out a little bit more, because if we look at the reference here, it's quite a bit longer, and if I extend this out a little bit, it's going to be easier for me to get the car onto the tilt part. So I'm probably going to have to do that, which sucks because installing all of this white tubing was kind of annoying. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I also made 2 supports, which matches what the actual ride will have, so, you know, +1 for realism. Alright, here's the next update. I've installed all of the tires for the block zone, so this will be the end of the brake run. This will be the station, and then obviously this is the lift hill, so I have the gears down there, and another set of gears all the way up there. And so now I gotta go install all the motors and program up the block zones, and for you that'll be about 2 seconds, and for me that's going to be the rest of the day, so see you then. So remember how I said it was going to take me the rest of the day to program all the block zones? Well, it took me that and an entire other day, but I've got everything working now, so let's take a look. Here's the station block zone. You can see there's 3 tires here, and that's the hold. So the train will come here and it'll stop there. That's the exit sensor for the station, so that tells the lift hill to speed up. Here's our hold sensor for the lift hill. So this will tell the lift hill to stop if the layout is occupied. It then goes into the tilt drop, which is a little bit different. It also has a sensor so I know when the car is there, but it isn't actually part of any of the block zones. I think on the real ride, it will be a block zone, but on this one it will not. So when the car passes over here, we know to tilt. There's one sensor missing. This will be the exit sensor for the lift hill. So when the car passes through here, the lift hill will be open and ready to be occupied again. And then we have, this is actually the layout, but this is where the brake run is. So this is the layout hold sensor. So whenever the train stops here and there is a car in the station, we won't be able to get past there. And this is the layout exit sensor. So when the car passes over this, it tells the station that it is about to be occupied. So let's run all of that. And for anybody wondering, I'm using the box that I featured in my last ride. I can link a video to it here, I think. This box controls everything for a roller coaster and then some. It's very neat. I'm pretty proud of it, so you should check that video out. All right, voiceover mic here. So I'm just going to explain to you what we're seeing. I just plugged the box in, so everything's starting to run. I'm going to drop the car in. This is like it just finished the layout. So now it's turning into the station, and the car is coming to a stop here. And this is where the station gates will be opening and closing. I obviously haven't built those yet, but we will in part 2 or 3. So now that the station is done, we're going to deploy to the lift hill. The lift hill will actually speed up when the train enters the lift hill, so that's pretty cool. It will get to the top of the lift hill here and go onto the tilt drop. When the car gets onto the tilt drop, the chain will slow back down. We want to save power, and normal roller coasters do that too. And so now we're just going to tilt. I'm going to get in the frame here real quick to catch the car. And there we go. It all works. That's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for part 2, where we build probably the entire layout because I'm trying to condense these down into shorter parts. Like and subscribe.